It's morning here, so you are catching me in my piano PJs. Here they are. They're actually very comfy, and I had planned to warm up, but it hasn't happened yet. So I'm gonna warm up for you live. I won't spend too much time doing that, but I'm gonna show you how I really warm up as if I were not on camera. When you get here, put in the chat what music you're currently working on, and then I'll tell you about this morning's session, which is what to focus on right before your performance. So this isn't quite right before to me. I still have 6 days to go. So I still have quite a bit of prep, but I'm not going to focus on everything still. I'm going to focus on, first of all, I'm going to do my warm up, which starts with warming up my heart. I'll talk about that in a second. Then do some things that warm up my fingers, and then get on to the music I'm preparing for the July 4th American Music Celebration, which, by the way, you can add to your calendar right here. This link. You look under lives under my YouTube channel, and hope you can join us July 4th for American Music of Hope and Harmony. Much needed right now. And so today, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to practice the Amy Beach Dreaming and the Rhapsody in Blue. I'm going to start with a piece that I will be playing, though, that warms up my heart, a beautiful nocturne by Zach Goluboff Davis called The Stillness of Night. And I will tell you that he really wrote this originally for my album. It's on my album, Doggone Calm. If you'd like that link, let me put a D in the comment for dog, or tell me your dog's name too. And I'll add that after I play this. So I'm going to start there and then go into some finger warm-ups, scales, journey, all the things. And then I'll go to the Amy Beach. You are welcome to listen along with me, and you're also welcome to just co-practice with me. Michael, I'll get you that link in a bit. And you're working on the Chopin Opus 15 number 2, the Griffiths, and reviewing all the Opus, the 90 Schubert impromptus. Good for you. Speaking of music for dogs, this is my pup Sundance over here. I did something, so I want to explain. So normally my warm-up piece, something that opens my heart, I don't generally go back and make corrections, but I'm playing, this is one of the pieces I'm playing on the July 4th, and I'm just bringing it back, just looked at it again yesterday. So there were a few places where it didn't go as planned, so it's okay. I just kept the rhythm going. I call it cyclical rhythm. I kept the rhythm going, and I just went back so that it's more familiar to me when the next time I practice it. So going to do a little warm up. Nice to see you, Sue, as well. Chopin Nocturne Etude. So if you just joined, put in the chat what music you're working on. And because we're early here in California, I haven't practiced yet. So I'm going to do my warm up right in front of you. This is what you were asking about yesterday or the other day, Michael, I believe. A couple of things I want to point out. So one is what you heard me do was a trill exercise. I learned that with John Perry when I was doing my graduate studies with him. It is one of the tricks and is part of the Piano Ninja Tricksters Club that members have access to, and I use it every single time I practice, without a doubt. And you'll hear, particularly, actually, there are quite a few trills in the Rhapsody in Blue. Then I get to those trills, I don't ever have to practice them because I've practiced them through this trill warm up. It's a little like a trill etude. And normally now I would go on to like a couple of Bach preludes. I'm not going to do that because I feel like my fingers get better circulation in the morning, so I feel they're pretty good, and I feel like I'm going to get the same finger dexterity out of the Bach preludes that I'd get out of this Amy Beach that I'm about to play. Dreaming by Amy Beach from Sketches. And I'm just going to stop as needed. Such a gorgeous piece. Want to point out a couple of things that I'm doing. So one is I feel like this is 6 days ago. This is going to be fine. I have not. I absolutely swear to you, I have not practiced any of this music at all except on camera this week. I have practiced some other music I'm learning for something else off camera, but so what you see is what you get, what you've seen here this week's. But I feel like, okay, 6 weeks, 6 days to go, I'll be fine with this. So I'm not panicked about it. I'm not panicked about anything, but some of the music I know needs more time than others. I feel like this needs about this much time every day and we'll be fine. By the time I get to the performance is Friday, by the time I get to Wednesday, I want to be playing through my program. So by then I'm working on endurance, mental endurance in this case mostly. Sometimes with some programs it's physical endurance. So every day is going to be a little bit of a different stage. So, and also some of those outer notes here and coming up in the Rhapsody in Blue, I just can't reach them post hand injury from breaking my hand. So there's things normally pre-injury I would hold on to those upper notes and I can't. So my motto is screw perfect, just make music, and I'm making music. So on to the Rhapsody in Blue. Let me know if you have questions. I'll check the chat along the way, and we'll see where this is. So this has now been 2 days, I think, since I've practiced this, and it was feeling pretty good last time. The other thing I want to add is that you've probably experienced this. Music from me anyhow, music from my childhood, high school years, comes back to me, stays with me a lot longer. None of this music is from that. I learned Rhapsody in Blue in my 20s. So anyhow, none of this music still goes back a long way, but not growing up years. So there you have it. Rhapsody in Blue, 6 days before I'm performing it. Robbie, nice to see you. And I'm glad you're listening while you're cleaning your house. And later you're going to practice piano. Fantastic. Let us know what you're working on. I want to, by the way, I always drink mint tea in the morning. Not a coffee drinker. So a couple things I want to point out. I was too in the flow in the moment. I didn't want to stop and tell you. But a couple things, if you go back and listen to this, or you might have spotted it, it's a little subtle. We're all commists as pianists. So there's a few times where I might have hit a wrong note, so to speak, and I went on. I know it's really hard to describe when to know, but I know when it's a wrong note and I need to go back to practice it because I have a chance of doing that again. And I know when it's a wrong note that it was just in the moment wrong note. So it's an art to figure out what that is. And I could be wrong, but most of the time I'm pretty accurate on that. Two other things I want to point out that you can apply to your playing. When I just kind of stopped, when everything, like, I just cut, took a little, 3-second break, started a new section, my mind was wandering. So there's one point I was thinking about something else. It was like, I don't want to practice when I'm thinking about anything else. I don't want you to practice when you're thinking about something else. And it happens. It's normal. It happens. And I'm working on, mental stamina. I haven't performed in a while. So I just stop. I don't push through it because I don't want to be playing pages and pages and not listening to what I'm doing. And the last thing is a point out, and this is pretty subtle, but you'll notice I did this all week. I don't think about it, but I know I do it. Which is, I originally did think about it. I trained myself to do this, which is if something's not going well, I never beat myself up over it. This is probably one of the top things that I see students do. Something's not going well, they beat themselves up over it. You don't want to do that. You just want to use it as information. So the subtle thing you're going to notice that I've trained myself to do is when something's not going well, I actually smile. And it could be just a little smile. But I smile so that I feel better about it and I know, oh, this is just something that needs attention. I'm going to spotlight this section on working it. It doesn't mean I did anything wrong. And I really, really highly encourage you to apply that to your practicing as well. And so Michael says, are those your piano pajamas? Yes. I melt between the piano and this case behind me and all the music, the flower face. I melt into the black and white keys. Are you wearing Rhapsody in Blue? So Michael, you can find yesterday. It's on my YouTube channel. So it's a little subtle because if you click on lives, that's where all the live replays are. So from this whole week, if you or anyone else listening, if you'd like me if you've been here all week, and thank you for so many of you have been, you'll notice the practicing changes. Like as I get closer to performance, there's bigger sections. There's less of 2-bar and 4-bar and 6-bar and 8-bar sections and repetitions because it's coming back to me. And I get more into this whole middle section. This was a total experiment. This is the stage I want to experiment. This jazzy part, but this part of I took that so much slower, and I did a lot more liberties today because this is the time where I want to be experimenting. Is that what feels comfortable to me right now? So as it gets closer to the performance, there's more of that. And then as it gets real close, here's what I do. I learned this from a fabulous teacher I had, Lillian Clear. She was just a gem of a pianist. And one of the things she taught me is when she was getting close to performance, she didn't practice slow. She practiced slightly under tempo and slightly under dynamics. And what happens when you do that is that the things that aren't coming together that need your attention feel like it feels like you're walking on eggshells. So you work on those sections and they just come up. They're just exposed so that when you are full tempo and full dynamics, you're not hiding. Sometimes we can hide under full dynamics and full tempo. So the things that you need to work on get exposed. So with that, this is one of the longer sessions. Are you performing from memory? Good question, Michael. I don't know yet. I have this all from memory and I don't know yet. We'll see. Stay tuned. I'm going to share my thoughts on that, which is I'm going to do whatever I feel more comfortable with. If I think I'll sound better without the music, I won't use the music. If I think I'll sound better with the music, I'll use the music. So haven't made up my decision. That's my desire, but I'm not sure yet. So memory is not mandatory in my book. Unless you're entering the Clyburn competition where it is mandatory, for YouTube Live, it's not mandatory. And don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned. So thank you so much for joining us. If you'd like to hear this, I'm performing this Friday. So if you'd like to hear me, not a run through, but like one of those slightly under tempo, slightly under dynamics rehearsals, so to speak, practice sessions, put a P for practice in the chat. Give you a moment to do that. And I could do that. I gotta look at my schedule. I know it's pretty busy Thursday. I don't know what time of day. It'd be Wednesday or Thursday. The other thing I want to share with you is that one of the things I do is that this performance is at 4 o'clock my time. So I will be running through this program at 4 o'clock my time the days before this. So it's not my favorite time of day to perform, I will tell you that. My favorite time by far is evening, like 8 o'clock at night, any day of the week. But it's too late on the East Coast. So so I do it earlier for you. And Michael's interested in that, so I will keep you posted. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to add one other thing, which is the Piano Ninja Tricksters already have this, but fingering is everything. Fingering, like so much of what you see, the reason I'm able to make it look easy is because of my fingering. I learned so much of this from Earl Wild at Juilliard. He was a master fingerer, and I have these fingering tricks, like these rules you apply at lisaspector.com/fingering checklist. And so Michael and Sue want a practice session closer, so stay tuned. It'll be Wednesday or Thursday, and I'll get that out in an email and post on YouTube as well. I'll post it in the comments for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day. I'm going to go get this girl out. I'm going to wake her up and go get her out for a walk. Have a great day. Thanks so much for being here.